Ladies and gentlemen, the show is about to start.
Today is going to be a little different. As you can see, there's nobody here with me. I don't have Bobo. I don't have the wise leader next to me. Because action happens when you're alone. A coach can prepare you for the moment you're alone. A teacher can prepare you for the moment you're alone. But when it actually happens, that is when action is formed. I'll give you an example. A workout coach can coach you in the sessions for months on end. And it's accountability. But the minute the sessions stop, will you still take action and lose the weight? No. Unless you have accountability. Because you have to be the person you want to be without anybody else around. Who are you when the doors are closed? Who are you when you are alone? Who are you when there's nobody around? That's why I'm alone here today. And the biggest question that I have for you today is, how can action change the world? Why does it matter? Why does it matter to act? Well, the short answer is, if we gave a little more to the world, a little more action, the world would change. Just a little more in our goals, a little more in our lives, a little more in our words. It would change. Action means nothing. Without action, your words are just like air through a window. Action has to go somewhere. Your words have to mean something. Without action, they mean nothing. Have action behind them. When we live what we say, that's how change happens. That's how communities change. That's how lives change. The question isn't whether action matters. The question is, why aren't more people willing to take it? And it's because they're scared. They're scared that if they act on these things, they'll change and people will start to drift. They're afraid of loss. They're afraid of saying that. Because they know the minute they take action, the world changes and they change. And that's the truth. But the answer is, with 2026 right around the corner, it's time we take action. It's time we stop quitting. I don't know why the world won't change. But don't be like everybody else. Take action. I don't mean more opinions. I mean more action in your life, because that is how the world will change. So let's change the world with action. Because words without action are empty. We say what we're doing. We do this as humans. We say we want something. We say we're going to do something. We never do it. So do it. We say who we want to be, but we never become that person. But if you don't act on it, it's not true. I find there's 3 kinds of action. Action with words, action with truth, action in our lives. Action in our lives is the hardest one of all, because you can say anything, but doing it proves who you are. And yet we live in a world that quits so much that we literally have a National Quitters Day. Think about that for a second. The world saw us as so predictable that they made a National Quitting Day. Think about that for a second. We are so utterly predictable that we will quit that there's a National Quitting Day. It's insane. Utterly insane. So stop quitting. Quitting has never taken anyone anywhere. Everything you do teaches you something. So why quit when you can learn? Why stop when growth is right on the other side. The truth is, most people don't fall. They just stop because they're scared, because they think they're not capable of achieving their own goals. They think something will happen if they do, and they're afraid of that for some reason. I don't know why. So don't be like everybody else. Be a winner. Don't be a quitter. Be strong. Be fearless. Be good. Take action on your words. Take action on your goals. Take action on your life. Have you ever caught yourself saying you were going to do something but never acting on it? Every day. There's so many times where I told myself I was going to do something. I told myself I was going to be better. I told myself I was going to go run a mile tomorrow. I told myself I have to get up. I didn't do it. Because I didn't have action in my words. They were just words. What do I think usually stops people from actually taking action? Fear. Fear stops people from taking action. Fear of change, fear of judgment, fear of everything. They're afraid that the minute they start taking action, their life changes. I don't know what that looks like. Fear of the future. So, if action can change the world, then it starts here with our lives. Action in our words, action in our truth. Because that alone has the power to change the world. This is the ripple effect of action. When one person takes action, it spreads. When one person becomes motivated, it spreads. When one person chooses to live in truth, it spreads. Action doesn't stay contained. It moves like wildfire. It grows. We talk about this in kindness, how kindness can change the world. Kindness only works through action and repetition. That's the connection. A good mindset doesn't change your life unless you act on it. A new perspective doesn't matter unless you live it. A new system built for success means nothing if you don't act on it. Motivation does nothing unless you move. That's the power of action. We need action as humans. Like we can't live without action. You can't do anything without action. You can't. It is physically impossible. But when action is repeated, it becomes a ripple. That doesn't just change you, but changes the world for the better. So if we know action can change the world for better, we know what it can do. We know that it can change the world. We know we can change as humans. Why don't we do it? Why don't we take action in our lives? I don't know the answer to that question. Because people ask me, how do I start? How do I start? I don't know the answer. You have to start with you. When I started my journey of growth, I laid it out all on paper. Everything that happened to me, I laid it out on a piece of paper. It's called journaling. You should try it. It's amazing. And I figured out what was going on with my life. And what happened was I took action on my regrets. I took action on growing. And I grew as a person. I have changed so much in my life because of action. I used to be a kid who bullied kids. I used to be a kid who got bullied. That used to be me. I used to be scared. I don't care now. I'm not scared of judgment. I'm not scared of change. I know what change is. What I'm scared of, what the world will become without it. That's what I'm scared of. Because the world today is lazy. They're weak. They're afraid. And everybody's been afraid. Everybody's been weak. We do this as humans because we are human. And that's okay. It's okay to be afraid. It's okay to be weak. It's okay to be lazy. But You can't do that forever. You can't be like that forever. You have to grow. You have to change. You have to have action in your life. You can't be like this forever. You just can't. Because action is needed in life. That's just the truth. Have I ever seen motivation spread like a wildfire just because one person started to move? Yes, I have. I see it all the time in the world. I see it in myself because someone started to be better. It made me better. When I go on runs and I see other people ahead of me, I try to catch up to them just to prove something, just to see if I can do it. That's motivation spread. When you see a person run with them. Get out of your car and just run. 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 Do you think action or motivation comes first? I think motivation comes first. Motivation comes first because it's true. Because you have to move first before you can act on that movement. But action is also part of it. Because without acting on your movement, you can't become motivated. I can motivate myself with words for hours. And I have this ability where I can motivate people into being better. And that's why I started this podcast. But my motivation does nothing for you unless you act on it. And that's the truth. So act. Do I think of a time, words, can you think of a time where someone else pushed you to step up? 100%. I have so many people in my life who have pushed me to be better. In fact, my youth minister is pushing me to graduate school. She's pushing me to be better. I didn't ask her to. She offered to. That's the power of action. There's so many people out there that will help you. You just have to let them. But it starts with you. I could have not done any of the things I did without changing who I am first. Action is inside of you. The fire is there. Let it burn. Let it breathe. 2026 is right around the corner. I want to see the you are right now. I want to see the new you. I want to see the 2026 you. And people say that they're going to be a new person in the new year, but they never change. They never do anything. Resolutions run out after February. People give up. Quitters quit. Don't do these things. I want to see a new you. I want to see a motivated you. Is how action shapes us as people. How does it? Well, action matures us. Action grows us. Action changes us. When we act on our goals, we grow. When we act on our lives, we grow. But nothing happens unless you choose to act. I said something to my gym coach one time. A lot of people fail because they don't choose it. They do it out of approval for someone else. But you have to do it for you. You have to choose it. And that's the hard truth. No one can change their life for someone else. You have to do it for you. Because you can't become better unless you choose to become better. And when you do, you don't just change your own life. You set the example for the next generation. That is the biggest lesson I can give you. People don't fall because they aren't capable. They fail because they never choose it. You have to want it. You have to choose it. You have to wrap your life around it. That's action. And that's how it shapes a person. It can change your life. only if you're willing to be the spark, because action is nothing without truth. Well, I think choosing to act is harder than people expect, because it's hard to actually choose to be action, to be the example of action, because people are afraid. I said this before. It's really hard to want to choose it, because choices are hard, but God gave us the power of freedom of choice. We must use it. We must choose to act. What changed in my life when I finally decided to commit to something? Everything. Everything changed when I committed to Edge. Everything changed when I committed to Costco. Everything changed when I committed to this podcast. Commitment changes you. Action changes you. I could not have grown if I didn't commit to growing. I could have not lost the way I did if I didn't commit to losing it. Goals can get you far, but commitment, it can get you further. Do you agree that most people don't fall? They just stop. 100%. Like I said, people aren't capable. They are very much capable, but they don't believe in themselves. They're afraid. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to start. If they just used something in them, a spark, they could do it. You can do anything you want to do. Believe in yourself. That is the power of action. All you need to do is act. But why does it matter? Well, why does my action matter? It does. You make a difference, and you will never realize how much a difference you make until you look and see. The world is beautiful, but action is the biggest part of the world. And you will never realize how much of an impact you make on a person until you die. And you're looking at them from beyond. I never realized how much impact I made until I joined Edge. I never realized how much impact I made until I became a mentor. I never realized how much impact I made until I started this podcast. So stop standing there. It's 2026 and you're just sitting in a chair? No. Move. Act. Live. Because what is living without action? Nothing. For the last moments I have here, I want to leave you with this. I want you to let go of the thought that you aren't capable of your goals. I want you to let go of the thought that you aren't strong enough, that you aren't good enough, that you aren't fearless. Every person in this world has been afraid. Every person in this world has felt weak. Every person in this world has doubted whether they are capable. One of the biggest thing I learned when I started working out, you won't see progress in the first month. Not real progress. You have to commit. You might fail, but what is failure? A lesson. Why are so many people afraid of failure? Because they don't want to learn. I've learned so much from my failures that it's insane. Because without them, I would not be who I am today. Failures are important. We are meant to fail as humans to succeed. Being afraid is a part of being human. Being weak is a part of being human. Doubting yourself is a part of being human. And because we are human, we shouldn't divide. We should unite through action. Because action has the power to change lives. Action has the power to change the world. If someone wants to start acting on their goals today, what is their first real step? Moving. Your first step should be moving. Go outside, take a walk. Think about how you can start your journey. Working as accountability when motivation fades. Very. Because when your motivation fades and the motivational speech you gave yourself fades, what's left? Accountability. This is the best way I can say to be accountable for your actions. Get a piece of paper out. Write down what you think you want to do and who you want to become, and put it on your ceiling. So when you wake up, you see it. Actually, just put it anywhere. Put it on your door. Put it on your car. Put it anywhere. On your computer, everywhere. Phone, everything. Because if you see it, you act on it. Write the goals down that you want to do and put this on the bottom. I will act on these. And then motivate yourself to act. Because like I said, as humans, we are nothing without action. It is 2025. And 2026 is right around the corner. So be new, be you, be real, and be motivated. Can change the world. It shapes values, and values change the world. If action can really change a life and a community, what's one action you challenge people to do? I challenge you to be the spark for someone else. I challenge you to motivate other people. So this is why self-improvement videos have gotten so popular. Because they matter. Because it's people trying to be the spark. Trying to improve. That's why I started this podcast. Because I wanted to spread the spark. But you have to be the spark. You have to choose the spark. That's the truth. Because when you're alone is the hardest thing in the world. Who are you behind closed doors? Who are you when no one is watching? Who are you when your boss isn't around? Who are you when life stops? When everybody else is gone and you only have you, what are you going to do? Nothing? Get out of that chair you're in and move. Be more. Do more. Live more. Because life has no meaning if we don't act. And that's just the truth. God gave us the power to choose, so choose action. Change in my friend group that I never thought would really change. Yeah. I had a friend who I didn't think much of him, but he was important. And when I finally started to see him grow as a person and change, was the moment I realized that he actually was more than I thought he was. Who I didn't know well, but I knew that we related a lot. And she acted on what she told me she was going to do. Left me in the dust. Feel that way, to feel like left behind. Scared to act because I don't want to be left behind. But when the world fades and noise is gone, who do you have left but yourself? I don't rely on people. I don't rely on anybody. You just have you. I have a saying in my life: never leave a situation with regrets, because regrets get you nowhere. But you are ready. Got fired from Costco, but that saying made me get back up again. There were so many moments in my life where I almost got a spark to give up. That saying made me say, no, I can do better. I can be better. Live by that saying, because it is the strongest thing in the world. I want to say this one more time. It is 2025. 2026 is right around the corner, and it is a beautiful Christmas season. Be kind. It's a beautiful Christmas season to act. Because at the end of the day, action is all that matters. To answer the question, how do I make an impact? You make an impact. Change the world. You are a part of something bigger. You are a part of the next generation. You are the example. So be better. Be motivated. Be real. And live with truth and love. Teaching you these things because I want the world to change. But I can't change the world. Only you can. Through action. I've been teaching you the 5 keys to success. And this is the 5th, the missing link. The world stops when we act. The world changes when we live. And it spreads like wildfire. So act, be real, be true. Amen.